Hey, we're live.
Hey guys,
Hey,
I'm Alex.
I'm May.
Marco here.
Yes, and today we're going to pick up actually as a continuation from last week's story. Today's show is going to be entitled Crypto is Dead and Long Live Crypto. And what do we mean by that? Well, we're going to get into it. But just to fill you in on last week's conversation, I'm going to paraphrase, is last week we touched on Binance and FTX and the whole melodrama surrounding them. And at that time, it was only kind of the beginning of the storm. And we were discussing how Binance dumped all their position in FTT, and then there's a discussion there. But as it turns out, the drama continues. I mean, who needs Netflix when we have this going on in real life, right? So I'm going to hand it off over to Marco. Marco, if you could give us even a better recap than what I've given you,
Hmm.
the audience, and then we would also be able to develop from there, and let's see where this goes.
Yeah, no problem. I think it's a crazy week to say the least. If our listener remember on the November 7th, we knew that Binance CEO ZZ, uh, at least he was speculating there was some kind of Ponzi scheme of Alameda and FTX. So yeah, so he started to announce that he's going to dump all his position in FTT. Um, and then, as it turns out, on the very same day, uh, people were withdrawing like crazy when they find out that ZZ is dumping FTT. So apparently, there was said that 6 billion US dollars of withdrawal, or 6 billion US dollars equivalent of cryptocurrency that was withdrawn within one day from FTX. So of course, FTX liquidity was down, and um, and obviously FTX didn't do a one-to-one back of all the asset they hold in custody for their clients. So yeah, they have a big liquidity issue on November 7th. And then funny thing is that on November 8th, ZZ announced that he would buy FTX, depending on the due diligence of the company. So at that point, we were kind of guessing that, okay, maybe Binance will get FTX for a very low price if it's not free, because all it needs to do is to pump like a lot of liquidity into FTX. However, on the very next day after the announcement, ZZ said he's not buying FTX because of the misuse of uh, user deposit in the regulator agent investigation in FTX, and Binance doesn't want any part of that. So we come to a point where we all think FTX is going bankrupt, but then Sam Bankman-Fried still come out and said we can work through this, and there are various stories with like Justin Sun trying to buy FTX, but it didn't work out. So on November 11th, which is a Friday, FTX filed bankruptcy, and then on November 12th, this is getting even more interesting. There was a hack inside FTX. So all people on Saturday who log into FTX, supposedly they were at risk for being hacked of their e-wallet, and then allegedly, as a result, something like 400 millions of equivalent of crypto was being stolen because of this hack. So it was like FTX filed bankruptcy, and there was a hack stealing other people's wallet. Um, and on top of that, that is not the end of it, right? On top of that, on the November 12th, later on November 12th, there was a report that Sam Bankman-Fried, Gary Wang, which is the co-founder and the director of engineering, um, and also Caroline Ellison, which is the CEO of Alameda, was trying to fly to Dubai where the US government doesn't have any extradition treaties, so they cannot be sent back to the US for trial, but got caught at the airport in Bahama. So right now they're in, Bahamian police custody, waiting to be, expedited back to the US for trial. So it's a crazy week if you think about it, from where we were last Tuesday guessing that FTX is going bankrupt, and then to the point where now Sam Bankman-Fried and his gang is being arrested, and yeah, and a bunch of people uh, have their money stuck in FTX and couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a
And
mouthful. Hopefully, you guys follow what I'm saying. If not, just leave us a comment. I will explain.
okay. And yesterday, Sam tweeted, "What?" Just that one word, "What?" And one, what? And then second tweet, edge. One letter, second, edge. And Pete was just like, "What is going on?" It's like it's been viral, like he's on Twitter and he communicates a lot, and even after everything, he still tweeted that, and people trying to understand what does that mean. But I'm not going to look into the word what and try to understand what is going on. But anyway, the drama goes on, and
But that's funny because if he's actually being arrested, that means like you can still have access to Twitter, right?
I'm not sure if he's in behind bars or just in custody. Like I
Yeah,
don't know
true.
the state he's in, or maybe he's just, I don't know. I don't know where is he,
Yeah.
or he just like invited to his. I mean, in Bahamas, I don't know what is the law like
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's like it's a very very interesting thing, and I have a few pointers here. Um, First, crypto, when there was Luna, we covered Luna months ago, and then we thought like, whoa, this is big. Luna is like, and then three arrows because they put money in Luna. For those who don't know Luna use its own collateral to mint a stable coin and give 20% return, or really really high, and they're trying to bring it down lower than 20%, but they give like astronomically high return, and then they cannot pay back. And then there's a scheme that bring down the asset price, and then they can't peg to $1 the stable coin that they're making. And then Luna crashed, and then a lot of people who invested in Luna were hurt. You like the three arrows and their Voyagers. There's dominoes like 10 billion baht or $10 billion US dollars on three arrows, and people just thought, whoa, things can't get worse. And then things get worse and worse and worse. Bitcoin from 32 down to like 20, and then right now there's the Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, and then from hovering 19, 20, 18, 19, 20, it's down to 16. And we are at one very critical point of the Bitcoin price, because miners, lots of miners around the world, not all, but a lot of miners around the world getting hurt, and they have to unplug. And one another pointer is in exchange, if you look at the outflow, people scared, and Bitcoin in exchange was super low. Like within this few years span, Bitcoin is super low. It's as low as in beginning of 2018, 5 years
Mm.
ago low.
So
So
nobody is buying or selling Bitcoin now. Yep.
Yeah, so this,
that, yeah.
and just to really quickly, not wrap it up, but kind of inform that I take it that this is the part of today's show that pertains to Bitcoin is dead, or crypto is dead. But then, of course, I would love to hear from May in terms of the more optimistic side, which is long live crypto. So, anyways, continue.
Right. So last year, I've seen a lot of money flowing into DeFi, decentralized space. Now, people have a big question mark, right? How how can we trust centralized regulated exchange? I mean, the trust of the people is gone, and then they're shifting. There are lots of people. There are a lot of believers, and a lot of them are investors, of course. But when you see that, you start to see a lot of inflow in the decentralized exchange. And I'm talking about Ethereum and other coins too. And you see a lot of flows back into the wallet. So yes, there are plenty of people who's trying to sell Bitcoin out of centralized exchange, but there's a lot of money sitting aside developing decentralized exchange, and these people are trying to pick it up. And a lot of people switch the service to the decentralized exchange. And from the product point of view, from the innovation and technology point of view, the cryptos, these products are very interesting, and in certain scale, not all the companies can use these cryptos as backbone, but these concepts can be applied, and I myself and our companies use these concepts to apply and help with the company's project. So the project has certain values, and people still developing it, and we are hitting the rock bottom, one of the very, very low bottom of the crypto, when everybody despair, everybody think crypto's dead. Like, this is the same time as 2018. People said crypto is dead, Bitcoin's 3,000, and then it picked up. In 2019, it picked up from 3,000 to 20,000. And you probably see something. Okay, Marco?
Yeah, I have a kind of more, like, psychological or philosophical view about this. I don't know if Alex and May remember. I used to talk about this whole notion about like proof of power, proof of stake, and then proof of work, right? So to me, like, if it's not proof of work, then it's not blockchain. And I think a lot of people are trying to define that, and I have to say that I was trying to keep an open mind and try to like understand all the other arguments, but I cannot be more confident now after seeing what happened to FTX, because you know I think what Bitcoin was trying to solve, right? And let me be clear about this. Like, I think blockchain is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is DeFi. So you cannot have like, say something like, I'm a proof of stake, and then like declare yourself as blockchain. This is my definition. Of course, like other people don't agree to that. And I think that now we are seeing that as soon as we derail ourselves from like a complete DeFi, we going back to this called proof of stake or abstract power structure, and all these people with a lot of power uh, would be tempted to do bad things. I'm not saying all political leader or all lead business leaders with power are bad people. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that all it takes is just one bad leader with a lot of power to destroy the system or the trust of the people who are using it. And that's why I think Bitcoin has a bright future, because Bitcoin is a proof of work system. Nobody get to dictate or like have absolute power of control over that system. And that is the problem that the creator of Bitcoin, whether it's like Satoshi Son or whoever that is, we would never find out. But the intention of the original creator is trying to solve a problem that we don't have to rely on the trust of some leader or people, the stakeholder with a lot of power to do the right thing for the society to enjoy what is right. Does it make sense, Alex? Am I confusing everybody?
Well, I mean, so let me kind of paraphrase it. Is the fact that if you could imagine, like Bitcoin, and well, blockchain in a way is almost like this is a bad example, but it's almost like when Napster just first came on the scene. Before it was, the like, you would need almost an entity like Sony Music or whatever record company to be able to verify, like, hey, this is good music. I'm going to distribute and sell this music to you. Whereas Napster later on becomes more like a peer-to-peer system. I know it's a bad analogy, but something like that. And the fact that despite the fact that there is a lot of doubt right now in terms of the speculation point, the speculative element of Bitcoin, that you just get rich quick by just investing this much and boom, it'll become 10 times later. Even though that's completely shaken up right now, you still think and truly believe that in the future there's still going to be a place in terms of the blockchain system, which and when you said proof of work, for those of you out there who don't understand, is that blockchain, in order for it to go through and be legitimate, and it has to go through what it is called a proof of work, which is almost like when you do a math problem, you have to show your work, right? And then by doing that, you like almost goes, okay, it's a stamp that says, okay, this ledger is true, and hence this Bitcoin has legitimacy, or whatever.
So using the Napster example, blockchain to me, it's a DeFi, which is also can be understood as peer-to-peer system, right?
Mhm.
So no one centralized server can control everything.
Yes.
But the problem with FTX, and even to the extent of Binance and all the centralized exchange, is that you have to pledge, or you have to put your asset, which are these tokens, in their custody.
Mhm.
And without proper regulations of these centralized exchange, these assets are obviously not being backed by one to one, right? Imagine if you buy stock of, like, ABC company, and then you own these stocks. The centralized exchange said you own these stocks, but in fact they didn't buy it for you. They just, like, kind of showing you the screenshot that you have these stock, and when you do withdraw them, they they might be able to figure out a way to let you have those stocks and money. But when everybody is withdrawing at the same time, they can't come up with all these stocks that they claim they own for the users. And that is exactly what happened right now with FTX. Yeah, so it's centralized, and whoever said to you this is blockchain, this is, like, crypto, to me right now, after this week events, I would call them bullshit. This is not blockchain to me.
I
Yeah.
think I think I agree almost all of what Marco said, like said, actually, but I want to change it a little bit. I think blockchain is a technology, but Bitcoin, a lot of people said that it's truly decentralized, meaning that it has fair level of manipulation. Everybody has a hand in a pie, but fair amount of their hands in a pie. So everybody's doing something, but not from the control and manipulating in the grand scheme. So for this, I would say that Bitcoin proof of work would give out the best decentralized and not regulated system ever that you have. But then I think this is what I agree on. But whether not controlled at all is a good thing or a bad thing, I think it's really depend on the environment. Because then in the DeFi space, people got scammed, people got lied to, people get cheated as well. So it really depends on what space you're in and how you're going to do it. In in centralized world, you can see, like, after Luna, Three Arrows, Voyagers, and everything that we've been through, FTX as well, you would see that actually DeFi world is quite resilient. Some good, some bad, some gone, some, but they're resilient. They don't die. I mean, volume might be low, but they just don't die. And that's like something that
Yeah.
very interesting about the DeFi. And
Yeah, and that's why it is actually solving some problem, but that it's I think what Bitcoin is doing is that it's trying to solve a problem that you don't have these big financial institution in the middle, right? Trying to control your money flow. But then what problem it was creating, or it actually created another set of problem, which is consuming a lot of energy, and then like also taking a long time for the transaction to happen because you need to have like a lot of notes to confirm. That is another set of problems. So I think as human being, or as as a group of intelligent human, we always figure out a way to survive through this. And I have complete confidence in Bitcoin and blockchains going forward. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have complete confidence in the sense that I think blockchain, the whole concept is still very provocative, and it seems like a natural evolution of things to go. Now, I was there, like I was in grad school during the whole dot-com bust, and everybody's talking about, before it kept on talking about incubation and all that stuff, dot-com, 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 and when it bust, everybody's like, oh, dot-com's dead, but this and that. But of course, I mean, 20 years later, I mean, I think it's just a readjustment period when people go to parties, have certain expectations, and then the cops came and kind of busted it. The party's still not dead. They might move it elsewhere. They might actually play the music a bit lower. They might actually not put so much booze and all that stuff. But then it's there's still going to be a party. I'm not so worried about that. I'm not an expert enough. You guys are more of an expert in this.
Alex, I think you're right on the money on this, because if you kind of think about using your .com or website kind of economy at that time, right? Anyone who has a website, a .com, will go IPO, right?
Yeah,
it absolutely doesn't. Yeah, absolutely doesn't have to offer any like substantial function to that website. It's just a website and went IPO, right? So that's kind of what was happening. I guess people didn't understand fully to the full extent of what blockchain was about. So whenever there's a .con, a cat con, and then like tons of people would buy into it, it doesn't even need to understand what it does, right? What problem it's trying to solve. And now that whole party is finished, right? All the imposter are now being punished, or even so I think now is the time where people come back down to the ground and say, okay, well, where do we go from here?
And I think that's a good question. Where do we go from here? And I think it's a big ecosystem, right? So we're looking at two different. I think this is a philosophical questions. I used to believe, but I think this time it's bigger than before, is people can have multi-currencies. I already have Bitcoin wallet in my wallet. I already have a lot of wallets. I have Thai baht wallet, and I have like international bank. So people start to use multi-currencies, and I have Ethereum, like MetaMask, in my phone, right? So I have certain wallets, because I have this Bitcoin wallet for the Bitcoin Lightning channel, so I can buy and sell, not sell, but buy things using Bitcoin. Not that it's a bright idea, but it's a fun idea. And then I have this MetaMask.
A47.
And it's the fee is quite high, but if you buy cheap products, and 3% or a small percent is not a biggie. And they have like MetaMask to buy things online, and then I have Thai baht, So I think going forward, people are going to have multi wallets in a phone, and then you will live a life according to your principle. Even if Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, they're different. So in cryptocurrencies project, back to the capitalism, and they want to raise fund, and they want to put a lot of money, and sometimes they have a lot of backers. So you look at that scheme and that philosophy of building the technology, proof of stake. We can have one dominate main major shareholders or beneficiary and push the project forward because we want the technology. And then another one is fix the money, fix the world, which is a Bitcoin scheme. And these people are trying to use this philosophy to support the monetary system. And then you have another group, which are miners, the facilitators that help all the nodes running, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all. And you would see that I'm going to be Bitcoin advocate, that Bitcoin's still a baby. Compared to all the technologies in the world, Bitcoin is very much a baby. And Bitcoin's trying to behave on the energy point of view. Sorry. And I've talked to a lot of shareholders of companies that use geothermal, renewable energy, and that's why those people can produce Bitcoin at $9,000, and the infrastructure is invested, so no energy required, or they find a cheaper source of energy. So I think Bitcoin is trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have to look at this, but everything else in the world uses energy also in the excessive way. I mean, in Thailand, why people have to wear suit and tie and turn on like aircon really, really cold? That's like
No,
ridiculous
exactly.
idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Black. I can make an argument that Blackpink, as an entertainment group, it's consuming tons of energy from the world, right? Like every time you turn on like TV or YouTube to watch a Blackpink video, that draws a lot of energy. So, but so why you argue, like why are people trying to argue that Bitcoin is not good because it draws energy, right? And I think that's just not, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
So it comes
Okay.
to, sorry,
Okay.
Alex.
I'm sorry. Once after you finish this, I want you guys to, it's about time we're gonna wrap up the show. But I want for you guys to help summarize, basically what's the current atmosphere or current vibe with Bitcoin is right now, or crypto, and
For,
and what it is in terms of what you want the audience to take away from this conversation we had, because we have threw a lot of great ideas, but is there any type of action that or any type of things that we wish people look out for, so that they could walk away with the show with at least something substantial?
I think the environment, to answer your question, is confusion and fear is the baseline of the crypto space right now. And people are concerned not only because of the industry, but the macro scale of the globe, of the financial scheme around the world. And but everything has its cycle, and I still believe that Bitcoin has a lot of true believers. Also, other crypto projects and Ethereum and other layer 2, which is sitting on Ethereum. And so you see a lot of projects that running on cryptocurrencies and blockchain. So you see a lot of people who are building. And when people fear the most, which is now, it's the time to really look at the price and see how much of the risk capital you have and how much you're willing to allocate if things hits the bottom. So I think this is a time that people seriously looking into the market, not to buy, but to understand and to feel comfortable with the market. And thirdly, I think people should be able to personally or get someone to do it for them, but people should know how to hedge, how to short against the port, at least, how to protect the portfolio when things don't go according to the plan. Understand, always have a plan B in your investment. And I think a lot of crypto people are younger generations, and they think that things go one way, which is up, and plan B is something that everybody now come to learn, older generation, younger generation, that all the investment you need plan B, because not 100% will go according to your plans. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think things is gonna go a little bit more worse in the short period of time, because a lot of the sort of companies or blockchain investing company holds a lot of FTT, because FTX did produce a tons of FTT and use it as a currency to buy asset or to borrow money. So we're seeing that now. I think crypto.com said they hold not a lot of FTT, but they do have FTT. I think I forgot which company, BlockFi or because they were
BlockFi.
being BlockFi. I think they were being rescued, so called, by FTX, and of course like the rescue currency was FTT. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot of more companies get into trouble as FTT goes to nearly zero. So that will create a cascade, a sort of domino effect of a lot of companies, and we don't know
Yeah.
how deep that hole goes, right? Because apparently some pension fund has an account with FTX, to say the least, and you don't know what pension fund has holding of FTT. So
Wow.
that will become a big problem in outside of the crypto world. To answer Alex's question last week, right? You said, is this a kind of isolated issue? I don't think so, but we don't know how deep that goes. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just hope that things are not going domino out of control. So, anyways, I think
Yeah.
we have 31 minutes here. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much, Marco and May, for giving such informative talk. And I think until next time, we're gonna leave you guys with some food for thought, and let's see how this develops, and maybe we'll have a third show about it. So, anyways, we're signing off. Alex.
May?
Marco.
Okay.
May. Okay.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.